Psychological tricks manipulators use to control you without you realizing it, and how to beat them. Imagine waking up one day and realizing that someone has been controlling your decisions for months, maybe even years. Not with threats, not with force, but with words, with emotions, with tiny psychological tricks so subtle that you believed every decision was your own. The frightening truth is that manipulation rarely looks like manipulation. It often looks like love, like concern, like friendship, like kindness. The most dangerous manipulators don't scream. They whisper. They don't push you. They guide you until you're walking exactly where they wanted you to go. By the end of this video, you'll recognize 10 of the most powerful psychological tricks manipulators use every day. More importantly, you'll learn how to protect yourself before someone quietly takes control of your thoughts, emotions, and choices. Let's begin. Trick number 1. The foot in the door technique. Imagine your neighbor knocks on your door. Could you watch my dog for just 10 minutes? It seems harmless, you agree? The next day they ask if you can watch the dog for an hour. A week later, they ask you to take the dog to the vet. A month later, you're caring for the dog every weekend. How did that happen? It started with one tiny favor. This is known as the foot in the door technique. Psychologists have found that once people agree to a small request, they're much more likely to agree to a bigger one later. Why? Because we like to see ourselves as consistent. Manipulators understand this. They rarely ask for something huge in the beginning. Instead, they build momentum. One favor becomes another. One compromise becomes a habit. One exception becomes your new normal. Eventually, you're doing things you would have refused if they'd asked on day one. How to beat it. Before saying yes, ask yourself, if this request became 10 times bigger, would I still be comfortable? If the answer is no, don't feel guilty about saying no now. Small decisions often shape big outcomes. Trick number 2. Love bombing at first. It feels like a dream. Someone showers you with compliments, constant messages, expensive gifts, endless attention. They tell you you're unlike anyone they've ever met. You feel seen, special, important, but then something changes. The affection begins to disappear. Now, you have to earn it. You start wondering what you did wrong. You work harder to get back the warmth you once received so freely. This is love bombing. It's not genuine love. It's emotional conditioning. The manipulator creates an emotional high so powerful that you'll chase it long after it's gone. This isn't limited to romantic relationships, employers, friends, family members. Even cult leaders have used this tactic for decades. The goal is simple: create emotional dependence. Once you're emotionally attached, controlling you becomes much easier. How to beat it. Real love grows steadily. Manipulation moves at lightning speed. If someone wants total commitment before they truly know you, slow down. Healthy relationships don't need to be rushed. Trick number 3. Gaslighting. Imagine someone insults you later. When you confront them, they smile and say, "You're imagining things. I never said that. You're too sensitive." At first, you trust your memory, but after hearing this repeatedly, you begin questioning yourself. Did that really happen? Maybe I misunderstood. Maybe I'm overreacting. Eventually, you stop trusting your own judgment. That's exactly what the manipulator wants. Gaslighting is one of the most psychologically damaging forms of manipulation because it attacks your confidence in your own reality. Once you stop trusting yourself, you start trusting them instead. History has shown that entire populations have been manipulated through repeated denial and misinformation. If a lie is repeated often enough, some people begin accepting it as truth. The same principle works in personal relationships. Most importantly, never allow someone else to become the sole authority over your reality. Your memory isn't perfect, neither is theirs, but repeated confusion is a warning sign, not proof that you're wrong. Trick number 4. The silent treatment. Imagine trying to solve a disagreement with someone you care about. You call, no answer. You text, nothing. You ask what's wrong. Silence. Hours turn into days. Days become weeks. Eventually, you're the one apologizing, even if you didn't do anything wrong. Why? Because silence is uncomfortable. Our brains are wired to seek social connection. When that connection disappears, anxiety increases. Manipulators know this. The silent treatment isn't always about needing space. Sometimes it's a calculated punishment instead of discussing the issue. They make you suffer until you give in. The silence becomes a weapon. It teaches you that disagreeing with them leads to emotional pain. Over time, you stop expressing your opinions altogether. How to beat it: respect healthy boundaries, but don't reward emotional punishment. If someone repeatedly uses silence to control you rather than communicate, recognize it for what it is. Healthy people solve problems. Manipulators create emotional hunger. Trick number 5. Guilt manipulation. Have you ever heard phrases like, "If you really loved me, after everything I've done for you, I guess I'll just suffer alone"? Notice something? They're not asking. They're making you feel responsible for their emotions. This is guilt manipulation. It works because most good people don't like disappointing others. Manipulators exploit empathy. They know that caring people often put everyone else's needs before their own, so they transform kindness into obligation. Instead of making decisions based on what's right, you begin making decisions based on avoiding guilt. Over time, guilt becomes an invisible chain. You stop asking, "What do I want?" Instead, you ask, "What will make them happy?" That's exactly how manipulation steals your freedom. How to beat it. Remember this powerful truth. You are responsible for your actions. You are not responsible for managing another adult's emotions. Compassion is healthy. Constant guilt is not the next time someone tries to make you feel guilty for setting a reasonable boundary. Pause before reacting. Ask yourself, am I helping because I genuinely want to, or because I'm afraid of feeling guilty? That one question can change your life. Trick number 6. Scarcity and urgency. Imagine you're shopping online and you see a message that says, "Only one left in stock," or "Offer expires in 10 minutes." Suddenly, something changes. The product you weren't even thinking about now feels impossible to lose. This is the psychology of scarcity. People naturally place a higher value on things they believe are rare or about to disappear. Manipulators use this same principle in relationships, friendships, business, and even everyday conversations. They might say, "This is your only chance. You'll never find someone like me if you don't decide right now. I'm walking away." Notice what's happening. Instead of giving you time to think, they create pressure. And when people feel pressured, they stop making logical decisions. They react emotionally. That's exactly what the manipulator wants. Because rushed decisions often benefit the person creating the urgency, not the person making the choice. How to beat it. Whenever someone insists that you must decide immediately, pause, ask yourself, if there were no deadline, would I make the same decision? If the answer changes after removing the pressure, you've probably identified manipulation. Remember this. Most genuinely good opportunities survive one night's sleep. Manipulation rarely does. Trick number 7, social proof. Have you ever doubted yourself simply because everyone else seemed to agree? Imagine you're in a meeting. 10 people nod in agreement with an idea you secretly believe is wrong. Do you speak up or do you stay quiet? Most people stay quiet, not because they're convinced, but because humans are deeply influenced by the opinions of those around them. Psychologists call this social proof. Manipulators understand that if enough people appear to support them, others are more likely to follow. Sometimes they exaggerate how many people agree with them. Other times, they recruit friends or family to reinforce their position. You may hear statements like, "Everyone thinks you're overreacting. Nobody agrees with you. Ask anyone, they'll tell you I'm right." Even if those statements aren't true, they create doubt. And once doubt enters your mind, your confidence begins to weaken. How to beat it. Don't confuse popularity with truth. History is full of examples where the majority believed something that later proved to be completely wrong. Instead of asking, "What does everyone else think?" ask, "What does the evidence actually show?" Confidence grows when you think independently. Trick number 8. Future faking. Few things are more powerful than hope. Manipulators know this, so instead of giving you what you need today, they keep promising tomorrow we'll travel the world. I'll change soon. Next year, everything will be different. Just give me one more chance. Months pass, nothing changes. Yet another promise appears, then another, then another. This is known as future faking. The manipulator keeps you emotionally invested by selling a future that never arrives. It's like chasing the horizon. No matter how far you walk, it always stays just out of reach. Eventually, years may pass while you're still waiting for the life you were promised. How to beat it? Judge people by consistent actions, not inspiring words. Anyone can make promises. Character is revealed through follow-through. Whenever someone makes a big promise, ask yourself, what evidence do I have that this person consistently keeps their word? Hope is valuable. Blind hope is dangerous. Trick number 9. Fear-based control. Fear is one of the strongest emotions humans experience. When we're afraid, our brains focus on survival. Critical thinking often takes a back seat. Manipulators use this to their advantage. Sometimes the fear is obvious. If you leave me, you'll regret it. Nobody else will ever love you. You'll fail without me. Other times, it's much more subtle. They constantly remind you of everything that could go wrong. They make the outside world seem frightening. They convince you that you're safer under their control than on your own. Little by little, your confidence begins to disappear. You stop taking risks. You stop trusting your instincts. You stop believing in yourself. That's when the manipulation has done its job, because a fearful person is easier to control than a confident one. How to beat it? Whenever fear is being used to influence your decisions, pause. Ask yourself, is this fear based on facts or someone else's prediction? Then seek outside perspectives. Talk to trusted friends. Gather information. The more knowledge you gain, the less fear controls you. Remember, confidence isn't the absence of fear. It's the willingness to think clearly despite it. Trick number 10. Making you depend on them. The most effective manipulators don't just control your emotions. They quietly become your entire world. At first, it feels comforting. They want to spend every moment with you. They encourage you to rely on them. They say things like, "You don't need anyone else. I'm the only person who truly understands you." Slowly, almost without noticing, your world begins to shrink. You see friends less often. You call your family less. You stop pursuing hobbies you once loved. Your confidence becomes tied to one person's approval. And that's exactly where the danger lies. Because once someone becomes your only source of support, leaving them feels impossible, even if they treat you badly. Healthy relationships expand your life. Manipulative relationships make your life smaller. The less connected you are to others, the more power one person has over you. How to beat it? Protect your independence. Keep your friendships alive. Maintain your hobbies. Continue learning. Build your confidence from within instead of depending on someone else's approval. The strongest relationships are built between two whole people, not one person carrying the other. Final thoughts: manipulation doesn't always wear a frightening face. Sometimes it smiles. Sometimes it says all the right words. Sometimes it looks like love, friendship, opportunity, or concern. That's why it's so dangerous. The goal of a manipulator isn't always to control your body, it's to control your mind. The good news is this: the moment you recognize these psychological tricks, they begin to lose their power. Awareness is your first line of defense. The next time someone pressures you to make a rushed decision, makes you question your own reality, uses guilt to control your choices, promises a future that never arrives, or tries to isolate you from the people who care about you, observe, ask questions, trust actions more than words. And remember this simple truth: you don't owe anyone your peace of mind. The strongest people aren't those who never encounter manipulators. They're the ones who recognize manipulation early, set healthy boundaries, and walk away before losing themselves. If this video helped you see these hidden psychological tactics more clearly, share it with someone who might need to hear it. You never know who could be trapped in a manipulative relationship without realizing it. And if you want to understand the hidden psychology behind influence, confidence, emotional intelligence, and human behavior, subscribe and join us for more insights. Because the greatest power isn't controlling other people. It's understanding yourself so well that no one else can quietly take control of you. Welcome to Soft Power Psychology, where emotional patterns become power, pain becomes wisdom, and silence becomes self-respect.